And we welcome you to Drake's Big Blue Bahamas. Tonight, Game 3 of this series. Carelton is in town out of Ontario, Canada to take on Kentucky. This is a Carelton team with great history, especially success against Division I teams when they play in the States. And Kentucky might just have their hands full tonight. With that, we welcome courtside Tom Hart alongside Dane Bradshaw. All right, we don't know a ton about Carelton, but watching them in warm-ups, they look a lot different than the first two teams we saw.
Yeah, first couple teams, you didn't really see any dunks and warm-ups. A lot of the under-the-rim type finishers. This Carelton team, much more athletic, more shooters, should be a little bit tougher test for Kentucky.
Got a little bit of size as well. Let's take a look at the schedule. Already 2 games in the books in Carelton tonight before the finale tomorrow midday. What a trip it's been. Kentucky blew out the Dominican 108-56. Beat Monterey Tech by 62. Carelton tonight, and then the Bahamian team will be here tomorrow at noon. They've already played a couple of games last week here on the island against college teams. North Carolina State and Ohio State, just a couple of the opponents that they've faced recently. But this Kentucky team has proven to be one that's going to be physical. They got great size, incredible athleticism. Jacob Toppin checks all those boxes.
Yeah, I think Toppin can emerge as the top two-way player in the SEC. When you look at what he's adding to his offensive game, and then the defensive end, the way he can lock down opponents and the energy type plays. And what I love about Toppin is not just the fact that he has improved his offensive game, he's ready to take the next step, but he has not abandoned what has gotten him here. And that's energy, hustle, momentum, changing type plays. He's just a really special athlete that brings it night in, night out for this Kentucky team.
We are ready to go in this one. This is a Carelton team that has really good history. They've got a lot of wins against American Division I opponents, and John Calipari in his 14th season as Kentucky's head coach has handed off the coaching reins again, as he has all week. KT Turner, newest member of this Kentucky staff, will be at the reins. Carelton has won 16 of the last 19 national men's championships in Canada. Their mascot, the Ravens, and Dane's got a stuffed Rodney the Raven animal back home. That's their mascot. John Calipari is going to rotate the starters by half, as he has all season. So this is an interesting matchup with C.J. Frederick starting the game along with his Kentucky teammates. Starting lineups are brought to you by Geddes Pools. Lance Ware getting the start in the interior. Here's Frederick for 3.
I like him taking that shot, though. If a defender's going to go under a dribble handoff, Frederick's got to let it fly.
I think this Kentucky team right off the bat, Dane, has a better feel for the competition tonight. The early going against the team from Mexico last night was pretty obvious that they were going to be vastly overmatched.
And the energy of Carleton's bench right now and in the warm-up lines, I think, set the tone for them so far to just say, hey, I think we can hang with these guys. I'm not saying upset alert by any means, but a much tougher test for Kentucky.
I'll add this. The biggest guy they have out there right now is 42 Loudon, and they've got more size on the bench. So I'm really curious what they're going to do when they bring in the next wave. There's KT Turner. First season as a Kentucky assistant. He was at Oklahoma last year. He's been in the college ranks for a long time. Jade Wallace, the freshman, dumps it inside to Ware. Lance Ware trying to muscle his way up.
Well, Ware's just got to keep his footing there a little bit better. And here's what he's known for, Cason Wallace, the defensive beast.
And an injured player for Carelton at midcourt will have to stop play and get him tended to.
The ball pressure that Wallace can provide. He reminds me of Davion Mitchell in the NBA, whose nickname is Off Night, because every time you go up against him, you're going to have an off night. And as much as he's impressed us early on with his offensive skills, I think the defense is where he's just really going to earn his reputation.
Feel like we had an off night on the craps table last year.
Yeah. No, that was ugly. That was ugly.
Only thing ugly about this fantastic trip to Baha Mar. Carelton played a game against Florida State last week. They shoot a ton of threes. Did not have a good shooting night against Leonard Hamilton's squad. Kentucky wants to be an up-tempo team. They were a fantastic offensive team last season, 5th in the country according to Ken Palm in offensive adjusted efficiency. Slow start to this one. Cats just 1 of 5.
Tell you, this kid with the red shoes, number 4, man, he is an athlete. He was doing some windmills and warm-ups.
Gets it free on the wing and will pull. Maybe a better jumper than shooter off of the jump shot.
Complimented the dunks, not the 3.
That's right. Toppin with a fadeaway. That's a tough shot.
And a great read by him. Back the smaller defender down. Don't make it overcomplicated. Rise up and release.
Frederick ends up committing the foul underneath. Got mismatch against one of their bigs, Evan Meyer at 6'8".
Well, here's Toppin. He's not going to, overextend that shoulder or get an offensive foul. Just rises up, and if he's got to fade away a little bit, he can. That high release is what's going to make that type of shot really unblockable.
First free throw is good for Evan Meyer, 6'8" freshman.
And Tom, Kentucky's really been able to just overwhelm the first 2 opponents with their speed and getting anything they want as quick as they want down the court. So it's going to be interesting to see how Kentucky can execute in the half-court set with much more resistance on the defensive end.
Ware trying to take it aggressively to the rim, has it sent back the other way. Ripped from behind by Wallace, already has 1 steal. It will stay with the Ravens of Carelton. Carelton has 43 wins against American Division I opponents since '99, and they've won 17 of their last 23 wins against Cincinnati, Alabama, Wisconsin, Ole Miss, Providence, and Baylor over the last 9 years. Lost to Northeastern and also lost to Florida State as the Seminoles made a trip north of the border. Their international jaunt that held at 64 by Leonard Hamilton's squad. Here's Oscar. I think Oscar Tshiebwe, the reigning National Player of the Year, has graduated to the level of the one-name superstar. Do you agree?
I can go along with that. And I think the only mistake Carelton has made is hitting Lance Ware in the face, causing the substitution earlier than Kentucky planned. Here's the enforcer, Oscar, back in the lineup.
Very balanced attack for Kentucky in their win against Monterey Tech a couple nights ago. The missed bunny. Tshiebwe, such a physical presence. And got shot blockers at his side with Toppin on the floor now. Tied at 4. That was their best player, Marjak, who got the bucket to go. Now Frederick banks it in.
And we saw him do a couple of those last game as well, being able to do a 1-2 dribble pull-up. He's such a good three-point shooter that when the defender closes out and respects that shot, you got to make him respect the drive too. So promising sign for Coach Cal on this Kentucky team of C.J. Frederick. You don't have to necessarily have him be a three-level scorer getting all the way to the rim, but just 2-level. You know, the pull-up jumper and the three-point shot. Be a really efficient player for this Kentucky team.
Talked with CJ a couple nights ago. He hadn't shot the ball especially well here in the Bahamas, but didn't seem too concerned about it. He has a track record of being not just an efficient, but a great three-point shooter. Look at Oscar leading the break. Payson Wallace for 3. Had a great conversation with Oscar today. That will air at halftime tomorrow, and we got a foul at midcourt. I asked Oscar, I said, take me back to making the decision to return to Kentucky, and he said, oh, that was not my decision. That was God's decision. He told me to come back, and we talked about his faith a little bit longer, and I said, well, what has God said about your three-point shooting? I said, well, God likes people to work and work hard. He doesn't like lazy people, so I'm still working at my three-point shooting.
I bet he didn't see that follow-up question coming.
He's the best.
Well done. He is. Just a joy to be around, contagious energy.
And he comes away with a steal. 3 on none. Oscar Tshiebwe. Marjak off the mark with his second 3, and it will stay with Carelton. Tied at 4 a moment ago, and then Oscar happened.
Right on cue, Oscar Tshiebwe comes in the game, makes an impact right away. Kentucky getting a little bit of a tougher test. No task too big for Oscar Tshiebwe, though.
Here at Bahamas Resort.
Maybe we should have done that instead of the craps table, huh?
Looks a lot less dangerous, that's for sure.
And you'd still have your house.
That's exactly right. Talking about some of the tradition. The Carelton Ravens played their Can-Am event with Northeastern and Florida State coming north of the border. They won 16 of the last 19 national championships, Canadian college basketball. That's really good.
I would call that a dynasty.
They had a stretch from 03 to 06 where they won 87 consecutive games. That's a pretty good run. Chris Livingston has changed his jersey. He's now sporting number 15.
Well, Frederick creates the turnover on the inbounds there. He had another one of those deflections yesterday. Coach Calipari has really sung his praises in the film room. Despite his numbers not jumping off the page, it's plays like that that are going to keep him in the rotation.
In case of Wallace off the horn set, cuts down the lane, and that's an easy look. Second dunk of the game for the freshman. It is, as of now, a 2-man freshman class. It will grow by 1 when the Cats get back home. But this is a very talented duo with Chris Livingston having the ball in his hands now and Casey Wallace.
What happened to Livingston's jersey? He's rocking the 15, no name.
Yeah.
There is some depth in the front court, and especially when you think about Livingston, Toppin, guys that you might look at as 3s, but can certainly play the 4 position. It's a logjam down there if you want some playing time and minutes throughout the season.
Cats on a 7-0 run. What have we learned to this point about the most efficient starting 5 for John Calipari? I say starting, doesn't matter if you start, but the most efficient 5 on the floor.
I think it's the guys that can make the quickest decisions and get it up the court as fast as they can. I mean, they don't want more than a half a second with the ball in their hands. And so that all starts with really what's the best defensive team you can put out there.
Good Oscar getting to the rim.
Boy, Casey Wallace is just an absolute pest. He just beats the opponent to the spot every time, and Oscar Tshiebwe does a little fake handoff, has the lane, keeps it high.
Part of the random offense that John Calipari has talked about by design for this Kentucky team. There's a fresh 4. Oscar Tshiebwe was going to play with this set anyway, but got out there earlier. So now Xavier Wheeler will run the point. Nice little bank shot that goes in for Connor Vreeken.
And not to start comparing the two with Wheeler and Wallace, but that's something where Wallace just has more size on the defensive end. A guy can't really raise up over Wallace the way the opponent did just then against Wheeler. And then Wheeler, of course, with such an edge against anybody in terms of speed, getting the ball up the court.
Thiero on the floor for Kentucky. Obviously part of that freshman class. Oh my gosh, he just put it in his face!
Thank you very much, Damian Collins.
Might as well rip up NAFTA now if we're going to do that to our Canadian friends.
I mean, Damian Collins just checks in the game. I think he was plenty warmed up. Just a pogo stick of an athlete.
You ever been dunked on like that?
Yeah, a few times.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't want to assume, but what does that do to the rest of the team when they see that happening as Antonio Reeves splashes one down? Is demoralizing too strong a word?
Well, I think the one thing is you can't be in denial. You have to admit what happened and just make fun of yourself before your teammates do, because it's not as fun for them.
Cats on a 14-2 run over the last 3:07. Damian Collins.
But as a defender, the worst ones are when you didn't even see it coming. It just happens so quickly. You slide over, rotate. But on a serious note, how quick Collins gets up off the court, head at the rim. I shared this in one of the previous broadcasts, but in a recent shoot-around, he missed a lob dunk. And Coach Cal basically said, "Why'd you miss that? Throw it down." He said, "Sorry, I hit my head on the rim."
Hey, look, he almost did it there, too. All right, a final game coming tomorrow. The Bahamian national team will make the trip over to Bahamas. That's tomorrow at noon on the SEC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app.
The freshmen get a lot of attention, rightfully so. Of course, Wheeler, Tshiebwe coming back, Toppin. But if there's a most improved award, I don't think there's any question. Damian Collins right now is showing everybody how he is all business for this upcoming season.
I think Carelton, when they touch it on the block, wanted to get it out of there as soon as possible. Here's Thiero with the chance. Unheralded in the recruiting cycle, he's more than held his own first couple of games here, and Antonio Reeves splashes down his second triple.
But that all is created by the rim run of Oscar Tshiebwe. This is a Kentucky staff that tracks and charts sprints, and you get graded throughout the course of a game. Tshiebwe drew all the attention down low. Reeves able to step into the trailer three with everybody sucked in.
Reeves shot 39% from three last year for Illinois State. Shot clock getting late. Oscar with the steal. Shares it for Reeves. Kentucky rolling.
Tom, this was a 4-4 game a few minutes in, and Kentucky's defense has just completely taken over, leading to easy buckets in transition.
It's a 19-2 Kentucky run, aided by 4 steals here in the first 7.5 minutes. Fadeaway 1-foot floater goes for Aiden Warnholtz, who is their leading scorer against Florida State.
He's a nice player, really good, nice stroke.
Corner three, a little strong. Oscar cleans it up. Try it again. Oscar again.
Do it again.
Thiero.
What was Oscar doing? You got to get that.
Shot off the mark. Wheeler has it. I kind of thought Kentucky's legs would be a little bit heavy after watching shoot around this morning. They've been very busy here in the Bahamas in addition to just the basketball. And yesterday wasn't a true day off either. A lot of them went on a deep sea fishing trip, and then they had practice late afternoon. 3-on-1. Offensive foul.
The offensive foul has been called.
It's the first on Wheeler. 19-4 Kentucky run. We said this might be the most competitive game. Well, it's now starting to look like the first two. Well, rewind on those in a moment. Well, we are in game number 3. Let's recap games 1 and 2 here in Paradise. And thought the Dominican Republic team, which Cal has compared to a good mid-major squad, would put up a fight. I think they got blitzed and were a little bit surprised at the talent they were charged with slowing down.
Well, I can appreciate the comp, and any mid-majors on Kentucky's schedules or schedules thinking about maybe a redo on the scheduling, because this Kentucky team, I keep saying, overwhelmed, suffocating the opponents. And they were impressed and pleasantly surprised by the game 1 outcome. I think the length has and the athleticism that they knew they had, but seeing it in action has been really something else for Coach Cal.
Xavier Wheeler had a double-double, 14 points and 10 assists. We are going to air your interview with Xavier at halftime today. I understand it was Mike Wallace-like hard hitting.
Oh, absolutely.
What did you get down to?
Top 3 flavors of wings. If he had his own wing shop, Wheeler's Wings, I even named it for him. How creative was that, right? Drums or flats. It's coming your way at halftime.
I can't wait. I was talking to Xavier before the game today about the physicality of college basketball. You know, we've kind of gotten away from a whistle every time down the court and the freedom of space. There are now bigs that are better fits in college basketball than they are the NBA. And Kentucky has it. Wheeler can be a very physical player, but he was under the impression, and I don't know if the stats bear this out, he felt like he got more whistles when he was at Georgia than he's gotten at Kentucky. And the foul disparity home road wasn't as great for Kentucky as it was within the SEC at places like Auburn and Arkansas, just to name a couple.
Well, I think the ball was in his hands so much at Georgia, too. I mean, the usage rate was through the roof. So able to get himself to the free throw line a little bit more. But I love the way he's distributed the ball in this first half. You see just a complete jet. And he's had several blown assists, but made the right quick passes on many occasions.
Able to whip it to find the open shooter. That's off the mark. Carlton 0 for 9 from deep.
Oh, that's tough.
Wheeler.
Just spins past him, slows you down, gets you on your back, on his back, and finishes with the left.
Thiero recovers after the slip out front to Xavier. And he shares it. Oh, Oscar didn't finish the run. Reeves went behind the back.
Wheeler puts his hands up like, man, that's like my 4th blown assist. He's been dishing it out.
Oscar with the rebound. That's like you yelling at me for staying on 16.
You know, the thing you can't overstate, though, is the conditioning of Wheeler. I mean, he's not huffing and puffing. This guy's gone full sprint up and down over and over again. I mean, here he does, gets the defender on his back, slows you down. You're going to play at my speed and my speed only. And a well-deserved break for Wheeler, but to be able to keep that pace up and down the court like that, really impressive.
Led the SEC in assists twice. What will be the value of his SEC experience once the season gets underway for Kentucky? Experience in Cason Wallace, as good as he is, does not yet possess.
It'll be paramount for this team, and we've mentioned it before, but I think also as senior coming back, you always have something to prove. You won a national championship, and the way last season ended, I think is a positive for this current team, knowing that they have some unfinished business and a little bit of a revenge tour. And one of the keys for Wheeler, yes, you'd like him to shoot the ball a little bit better, but a lot of it's going to be taking care of the basketball. And it's not a situation now where you take the good and the bad with Wheeler, because you got Wallace that can come in if he's being careless with the ball. And that's a positive for this team. Iron sharpens iron.
7 assists to 3 turnovers last year. Jacob Toppin is throwing in threes. That's going to do something. He only shot 10 of them last year.
Good catch, Tom Hart.
It's wide open.
This is just good basketball. Drive, draw, dish. Bang, Toppin.
Should I have shot that?
Yes. Hook shot. I think the rest would have appreciated it. They love that play for Toppin there. It's just a fake screen. He goes up like he's setting a ball screen, slips to the soft spot on the court there.
Talk with some fans before the game. We're talking about the random aspect. That's the word Cal uses about the Kentucky
whether you call it a ghost screen, slip screen, whatever it is. In this case, to your point, Tom, I don't think it was as random. That's kind of a half-court set for them when they're in the open court and in transition, yes, be random, but for in the half court, run your offense.
Wallace down the lane.
I love his pace. He's got such a grown man build to him, but he's not out of control. He's not a bull in a china shop or anything like that when he gets into the paint. Good decision maker.
6'4", 193. He's from Dallas. He and Collins spent some time in the same town down in Atlanta, Texas. Collins gets shoved out of bounds.
Doesn't get the call.
Wallace was telling me, he said, yeah, I've been to Atlanta. Found out my dad's from there. And tight with Damian Collins and his family. All right, here's what we're doing before we come over tomorrow. Pirates plunge. Chris Farrell's going to come out of the tube in 3, 2, 1. Well, there have been some heavy hearts throughout the Commonwealth. Kentucky lost another legend. We discussed Mike Pratt a couple of days ago. Reggie Warford, Kentucky's second black men's basketball player and the first black basketball player to graduate from the university, passed away in late May of this year. He was 67 years old. His best game probably in the 76 NIT title game win over UNC Charlotte, team that made the Final Four the next year. Cal and Reggie spent some time on the staff together at Pitt. Talked with Cal about him before the game today, and he's still in touch with Reggie's widow and very tight with that family. 14 points in that game against UNC Charlotte. 7 of 10 shooting. And teammate Goose Gibbons in the building over on the radio with Tom Leach. And Lance Ware's back on the floor. Got a Band-Aid under that left eye. Got the tape on his left arm. He's like RoboCop out there. What else he got?
Yeah, the main thing for Lance Ware is when he gets that ball in the paint, he's got to be able to finish or get to the free throw line and convert there. They can't have empty possessions from their 5-man when it goes into the paint.
Like synchronized jumping there to challenge the shot, and a foul on a rebound goes against Carelton.
And that's really where Lance Ware is at his best, is as a rim protector, energy guy. Well done by 55.
Bruiser Flint next to John Calipari on one side, his buddy Jerry Haffey on the other. Toppin.
Man, I mean, he is just so smooth. We've seen him knock it down twice from deep, but then also the mid-range. 4 of 4 now. Playing a perfect ball game.
Wallace playing defense. He said he took great pride in it as a youngster. His dad really sold him on the idea of being an elite defender.
How do you stop this? Just a great athlete, rises up, high release, butter. And what I love about Toppin, Tom, is, you know, when he transferred from Rhode Island, they said, hey, we were going to redshirt you, but we need you now. He says, no problem. Then last year, it's like, hey, we really need your energy off the bench. Okay, I'll play that role. Now they need him to step up more. He's ready for it as well.
Good pass. And a track down off of the offensive rebound.
This Kentucky team has Carelton now 0 of 10 from 3. And I don't think that's just because Carlton's off. It is the length and the contest. Guys flying everywhere for the Wildcats.
They'll call that one goaltending. Lance Ware had a trip earlier this summer to Brazil. Played 3 games down there and averaged 30 points a game. Said it gave me a lot of confidence, and I was able to do some things with that team that allowed me offensive freedom.
I feel like Cal's a little bit of a backseat driver in this game.
Coach, hey, from up there?
You gonna drive the car or what?
And a Kentucky turnover.
Carelton basketball.
You didn't see it there with the careless miscommunication, but they have done a really nice job taking care of the basketball. Only 5 turnovers in that first game against the Dominican. A lot of good ball handlers and a high IQ team.
That was about a 70 possession game where they only turned it over 5 times. Wallace finds the loose ball. Toppin pull up again, and he nails another one.
He's just looking like a pro. I mean, this, to me, is an all-SEC player. As we said in the open, I think he could be one of, if not the top 2-way guy in the league, based on what he can do on the defensive end as well.
And I tell you what, if he's making jump shots, that gives him some positional flexibility, right? I mean, is he a 3? Well, if he's shooting the ball like that, he certainly can be.
Well, and today's game is so much about threes and at the rim, no mid-range. But there's an exception to that. I mean, if you're a guy like Toppin that can get your own 1-2 dribble pull-up, rise over the defender, that's a layup for you. Chris Paul in the NBA, he says, yeah, I know everything's about the rim and threes, but guess what? Mid-range for me is the same as a layup.
A couple of years ago, Kevin Durant got in a Twitter spat with some of the analytics guys. He jumped in the conversation. He said, what are you talking about? Mid-range 2s are bad. I shoot them all the time and I'm pretty good. And the answer was, yes, but you're Kevin Durant.
Right. Yeah.
Kentucky team that from deep last year averaged 6 threes a game, shot 30, makes, I should say, shot 35% from deep. Wheeler, long 2.
It's tough. I mean, you just can't stay in front of Wheeler.
Carelton just 22% from the floor. Ravens have turned it over 11 times. I don't know that they've had a run where they've made back-to-back shots on consecutive trips. Wheeler dishes. Reeves shares. Thiero floater. Cats shooting 61% from the floor, 4 of 9 from 3, but already 5 turnovers in the first half of this.
And I don't know the exact plus minus for the different waves of 5 they've had, but it's got to be hard to decipher because no matter what group Coach Cal and this staff have put out there, it's been productive.
KT Turner coaching today, was with Oklahoma last year, Texas the year before that, 7 seasons as an assistant at SMU. Offensive foul.
Offensive foul called on Carelton, number 21, Evan Mayer.
And prior to getting to Dallas, KT Turner was on the Wichita State staff in 2012, 2013. That was the year the Shockers went 30-9 and made it all the way to the Final Four. Most importantly, though, he wasted no time. Kind of a John Calipari tradition is at the end of every shoot-around, they shoot from mid-court, starting with the coaching staff. And KT Turner in his second Kentucky quote-unquote game day practice, he was the one that nailed the shot. It's a good start.
Banked it in, yeah.
Another strong game from Xavier Wheeler. Only thing that has gone wrong is a PA announcer has mispronounced his first name every time he's made a bucket. But a lot going right for number 2 in white.
He's been terrific, whether it's pushing the tempo, getting to the rim, and how about this? Let me cross you up, put you on skates, rise up, splash. Wheeler going to work. Kentucky is cruising.
Good luck getting the transaction fees waived. Marty McGee continue getting set for college football season. Sit downs with every SEC head coach. Monday will be the East head coaches, including Mark Stoops. And Tuesday they'll talk with the West. Talking season starts at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, both nights right here on the SEC Network.
There it is.
Oscar off the back rim.
Yeah, that's the play I was pointing out earlier that they run for Toppin so much. They're going to give Tshiebwe an opportunity to convert.
Damian Collins with the follow. What kind of freedom does Oscar have to take threes?
I think plenty of them, as long as it's in check. I don't think he can take the bait if all of a sudden everybody's sagging off and daring him to shoot it. But those opportunities, if they sag off, you do a dribble handoff to a guy like Reeves or other shooters, and all of a sudden you got a pretty good 2-on-1 game.
Wheeler will pull. Tshiebwe the rebound. First half, and Oscar Tshiebwe already has 5 boards in shared time. It's 5. Pardon me, that's 6 rebounds in 8 minutes for Oscar.
Offensively, I know it's been inferior competition, but I liked what we've seen so far by 12 and white. Reeves, the transfer, has come in and really asserted himself. He doesn't defer. He's not selfish, though. If he can get his defense to catch up with his offense, this could be somebody, if Kentucky's going through scoring slumps or tough shooting, a drought, he could be one of those guys that could just get you a bucket when you need one without necessarily having to call a play for him.
Reeves is 6'6". He's from Simeon in Chicago. Also spent a year at Shadow Mountain High School in Phoenix playing for Mike Bibby. That team only lost 2 games, won the state championship. They were a high-scoring team. A bunch of D1 guys on that squad playing for former Wildcat Mike Bibby, longtime NBA player.
He was top 20 in the country last year in scoring at 20 points per game, and it wasn't just because he was jacking up a bunch of shots. An efficient shooter from deep and at the free throw line.
I should be clear, that's former Arizona Wildcat Mike Bibby. Lest anyone make that mistake. Pull up jumper for Marjak Okado. Oscar. Here's Wheeler.
They don't get the bucket there, but you got to love how they pushed it off of a make for Carelton, and they got Tshiebwe a paint touch 6 seconds into the shot clock.
Carlton's got to pick themselves up. Connor Vreeken with the spill after Xavier Wheeler challenged that layup, didn't give up on it. Tomorrow noon Eastern, finale of this 4-game Bahamian swing for John Calipari's squad, taking on the Bahamian team.
This thing's getting out of hand. We're going to need a running total of points. Kentucky versus opponent. It's got a chance to, by the end of this weekend, be 400 to about 100. I mean, I don't know if you can find a more exciting athlete to get above the rim than Damian Collins.
Collins finds it. Got pinballed around. Now we'll push it.
Off the glass. Get your 2.
Wheeler's got double figures now. He's 5 of 6 from 2-point land. Half minute to play. Stolen away by Reeves. Oscar's behind him. Here's the share. Oh my! He would have brought the house down, and Wheeler cleans it up.
Well, you can't assume they're going to make it. Wheeler does the smart thing, trails the play, rewards himself with 2 easy ones.
Shot clock off for Carelton. They've been held to 19 points on 26% shooting this half. Is 1 for 11 from 3. Collins jumps out for the trap. 4 on the clock. Stolen away 1.5, and the shot will come after the buzzer and almost ended up in the Caribbean. Well, John Calipari's got to be pleased with that performance. Xavier Wheeler, 12 points, 3 assists. Dane will talk with him in just a moment. We'll get to hear what makes him tick. Well, you pass up top to Collins, that makes it easy.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's had more highlights in the Bahamas than Damian Collins. And Tshiebwe, he's human. He can make a mistake every once in a while. Good thing for him. Wheeler's got his back. Kentucky rolling.
Bahamas. I bet we can make a fritter out of whatever's crawling inside that thing, don't you think?
You have gotten a lot of hawks Ritter references in this trip.
The fan.
Great shot there.
You know, you're probably at a private beach if you come up with a shot like that.
That's right.
Big Blue Nation happy with these numbers. Carelton being held at 26% shooting and just 111 from 3. Carelton's dance is better than what the Carelton Ravens have put on the scoreboard so far tonight.
You have been itching to get that in ever since we arrived. I can get the Carelton
You
in.
promised me you were going to do the Carelton on camera.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Hey, on the 1 for 11 3-points, though, 3-point shooting, that man right there, Coach Cal, I've said it in previous broadcasts, but really stood out to me in one of their early practices, how he implored his long team to essentially have short closeouts on shooters. Because they're so long, they can still contest the shot without being in the chest of the defender and give themselves a step for some of these shorter guys trying to get past them. And the defense has been terrific and good execution there on the offensive side.
Plenty of points in the paint, which is fitting. It's Boogie Cousins' birthday today, so happy birthday to the former Cat star. Here's the lob and a little low.
What did Boogie Cousins, was it Mississippi State where that fan base got his cell phone and then he just torched him? Getting a head nod there.
You're right.
Yeah. And I just remember him celebrating, holding the phone, pretend phone to his head. It's one of the great ones.
Wright has a few phones now. Oscar long 2. Let's sit down with Oscar. That's going to air at halftime of tomorrow's game. If you didn't already love him as a Kentucky fan or just as a human being, this will help. He's just so genuine. When I asked him, part of the reason why he came back to Kentucky, it was just as, he didn't even talk about basketball first. He said it was an opportunity to be a servant leader and serve the people. Corner 3, good.
Yeah, it was interesting talking with you afterwards, too. We kind of had debate of, look, I know the opportunity for some NIL money was a factor. But we kind of both paused and like, you know what? But if NIL didn't exist, he might still have come back.
Wallace lobs. Toppin!
Oh!
All right, trying to get fancy now. The Cowboys almost got dunked on. Wallace another steal.
Do it again.
Toppin waiting for it. Have a clean release.
Yeah, couldn't quite get his footing. Nice little pump fake there.
That's Marjo Cocado, who's raised some eyebrows with his dunking exhibition.
How tough is that? Takes the contact, gets through the defender, and then uses his offhand to just so softly put it up there. And here's Toppin. 2's a 2. It counts, buddy.
Xavier really at the free throw line. I think it's Xavier's shoes. They're like extra high tops.
Yeah, those it's an interesting look. I guess you could say that's a complete 180 from the low tops people are wearing now. I was reading in an article earlier. It was
congratulations.
It was the Kobe 4. Thank you. I had it on the audio where it read it to me. The Kobe 4, I believe, was the first low top. The Black Mamba inspired the shoe game to completely change.
Misfire. Toppin and Wallace.
You know, it's a small thing. But what I love there, Toppin was frustrated that Wallace didn't stay. And he got a little bit mad. And then in 1 second, he just says, hey, my bad, my bad. No finger pointing. They just get over it, move on to the next play.
There's still a lot of learning to happen with this team and guys who haven't played much together. But an international trip like this gives you 4 real games to play together against another opponent and facilitate learning each other a lot quicker than if you're just shown back up on campus next month.
Yeah, and they're likely not gonna go through adversity together on this trip. So that's something. They still hadn't been smacked yet, or had a game where there's been a lot of pressure, or have a bad outing. But I think they've got the makeup to handle it. When I look at this team and shoot around, how they bond with each other, and their performance on the court, how they're happy for one another, to me, they have all the ingredients of being a close team, no matter what happens to them throughout the course of the season.
Well, Jacob Toppin has not missed a shot tonight. He is 7 for 7. And wow, and now he comes up with a pin. He is 3 for 3 from deep. Here's Oscar.
Generous stat keeper, too, because he had the missed lob dunk, right? They didn't. First, you're going to see just straight vertical. I mean, no running start, nothing, just vertical. And then runs the court, does Tshiebwe, gets rewarded. Great find. Xavier Wheeler.
I know the stat keepers, and I don't think they would be happy with you accusing them of being homers. They brought the 606 t-shirts down here for
I just a missed dunk attempt. I like how they may have called it just almost a deflection. It wasn't really an attempt. As if you needed any more friends of Big Blue Nation.
Hey, those 606 shirts are helping to raise money for the folks in East Tennessee. That's fantastic. Great job. Kentucky branded. That's really cool. Toppin still perfect, and that time with a hand in his face.
He's feeling it, man.
Kentucky's shooting at a 60% clip. That includes 6 for 14 from 3. Meanwhile, Carelton is just 1 for 13 from deep. Kick to Livingston, and the freshman buries a triple.
Penetration kills, and nobody can keep Wheeler out of the paint.
Jay hands me this stat. As of a moment ago, Kentucky has led for 95 minutes and 9 seconds of the first 100 minutes this week. Opponents have only been in front for 24 seconds. And that leaves just a few minutes where it was tied, mostly the first few minutes of this one.
Well, Jacob Toppin, whether it's at the rim or from 3, but then he's had it going. The mid-range, he just looked like a pro. Everybody says, no mid-range 2, no mid-range 2.
How do you like Carelton? Some better shots from Bel Air Academy. 75-23, Cats with the lead. How about some Cat influences from north of the border?
Yeah, you got some studs there. Shea Gilders-Alexander, what a great story that was. Kind of mid-season, taking over the team. Jamal Murray, just the three-point dagger. Jamal McGlure, a little bit of a throwback name. Heck of a list. They could use a couple of those guys right now.
No Shaden Sharp.
You're going to go there? Stir the pot a little bit?
No. We're in paradise.
This is nice. Yeah, that's right.
We've had a nice quiet week down
that's
here,
right.
haven't
Yeah,
we?
exactly. There may be bigger stories, but there's no better one.
Ben Riley to the free throw line. This will be the 4th free throw attempt for Carelton. They won 13 of the last 16 youth sports national championships. Canadian version of the NCAA. And did you see Greg Sankey was talking about maybe we need to expand the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I'm not totally opposed, and maybe expand the first 4, if you will. Whether you call it the other 64 teams get a first-round bye or whatever it is, but I don't recall exactly what year the field was expanded to 64, and we've had very minimal expansion since then. And you look at
68.
You look at VCU with their run. There's Syracuse was an 11 seed.
Sankey's impetus for that was, look at what Ole Miss did in the college baseball scene, or the last 4 in, and they won the national championship.
Shot, Lance Ware.
Scoring number 55, Lance Ware.
First bucket for Lance tonight.
That's important for him. Look, I know it's a blowout game, but you can't play with any fear. You can't be embarrassed if you hadn't shown a jumper, or like Oscar Tshiebwe, you can't be embarrassed to take threes. If you're working on this stuff, you got to give it a chance in the game. Nice job by Ware.
Cal loves it. Jerry Haffey nods along. He's gotten more TV time, Jerry Haffey, his friend, than we have this week. He might invoice the company. Carlton going to the free throw line a little bit here. Cats have made each of the last 7. The Ravens of Carlton haven't made a field goal in the last nearly 3:30.
I think this Carlton team's probably going to be in the locker room at the end like, look, I knew they were going to beat us, but I didn't think they were going to do it to us like that. And that's not a knock on them. I just think this Kentucky team has shown now for 3 consecutive games that they do not play down to their competition. And they're competing. Look, they're playing hard together, but make no mistake about it, they're all fighting for playing time themselves.
Doug Hampton was open. Monday night, the SEC Now crew will have reactions to the release of the preseason AP college football poll. And Marty McGee sit down with Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson. That's SEC Now Monday at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. I think what'll be interesting once we get into the bulk of the season, you've been to John Calipari practices, how much better they get, even leading into the season, by going good versus good, 5 versus 5, and how often those teams are adjusted. Because you might find a blue team or a white team where 5 of them mesh really well together.
And it may not mean that the same 5 and same rotation is best for each game. They've got a lot of tough, unique opponents to where they may have to go with a bigger lineup against one opponent, and then the next lineup it's more about speed or shooting. And so I keep going to that versatility word when describing this Kentucky team. And you're going to learn a lot. It doesn't mean it's like it's the end of the world if you lose 1 or 2 of those, but it's a great opportunity to figure out which of those lineups and what the rotation might look like.
Gonzaga returns plenty of talent. That's a trip to Spokane that was just announced a couple weeks ago. By Michigan and London. Years ago when Cal was coaching at UMass, he had his team play overseas. They took the Concorde over. Remember the Concorde? You know you got a budget taking the Concorde cross country or across the ocean. There's Antonio Reeves for 3. That's a Kansas team, the defending national champs. They'll have to replace a ton of talent. Going to go try Avaji. Ware got in there to tie it up. Cats have made 8 of their last 9. Collins stepped on the inline.
Traveling violation.
Not once has Wheeler forgotten to push tempo in this game. I know that led to a turnover, but he has just continued to have the defense on their heels, whether it's advanced passes or with the ball in his hands.
And he just got coached up by Cal sitting off the court on the near side. Cal's voice has a way to cut through, doesn't it?
That's a good job by Reeves. He's got to really be able to hold his own defensively. I think that's going to be an interesting battle. You look at what C.J. Frederick brings as a shooter and a reliable veteran and defender that knows the system versus Reeves, another off guard that scores in a little bit different way, but is still learning defensively.
Still learning because it wasn't asked of him last year.
I think the terminology and busting through screens and how to do it and just not thinking so much but playing, and that's going to come with time. And Here's Reeves. He's just gonna off the bounce. Come here. Bam. And here he is finishing with the easy 2 as well. This kid's coming off top 20.
It's amazing how fast this Kentucky program can bond together to do good, and this was the case on August 2nd. Hastily threw together a fantastic event that raised $4 million with Joe and Kelly Kraft, Lex 18, the American Red Cross and Rupp Arena for Kentucky flood relief. Had a 3-hour open practice session and raised a ton of money, and that continues, and you can still give, and there's a lot of different ways to do it. In fact, our friends at Kentucky Branded are selling these t-shirts. Hashtag 606, 100% of the net proceeds go to the help flood relief and help those victims in Eastern Kentucky. The devastation is just, it's mind-blowing if you haven't seen or looked at the pictures. And there's a lot of different ways you can give and you can help, and that includes with our friends at American Red Cross. If you want to help, you can visit redcross.org/Kentucky to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover from this disaster. I was talking to some Kentucky fans here this week who were just so thankful that we continue to bring attention to the devastation in the 606 and the fact that they have friends and family whose communities may not ever be the same because of that flooding. So please do your part if you can in any way that you can help.
Hats off to John Calipari and this Kentucky team, again, for using their platform and making such an enormous difference.
Cats 8 of 16 from 3 and 61% overall in this one. Collins with the block.
I liked his double block yesterday in the corner. That was another highlight.
Well, I think a lot of times we talk about block shots. We talk about it's normally in reference to rim protection, right? And are you challenging shots at the rim and inside the arc where it seems like a Kentucky team with enough length at every position, including when Kaysen is at point, where they can come up with challenging shots 20 feet away.
Yeah, I mean, the phrase is force tough twos. They're forcing tough threes, tough twos, tough layups.
Carelton will get over 30% from the floor with that bait. Ware looking for a bucket. Left it short. And there's Reeves for 3.
And we've seen him be able to take the defender off the dribble. Something he did a season ago. I thought he scored really well off the bounce, but encouraged to see how much of a catch and stick guy he can be as well that he's shown here in the Bahamas.
Well, if you look up his synergy numbers, I know you went back and watched some of his film. Everything from a jump shooting perspective is elite with this guy.
Yeah, and he's just a born scorer, man, and he's got his feet ready, confident player. When you think about just him coming in and making a name for himself so quickly, not being starstruck, if you will, not deferring, being assertive, he is going to make a name for himself in the SEC. Bang, tough.
Really interesting.
I mean, we've seen him at the rim, I'm sorry, but we've seen him step back 3 off the dribble, catch and stick, however you want it.
And I think it's an interesting dynamic when you think about what John Calipari has done from a recruiting perspective. Now, they've got the #1 class coming in next year, absolutely loaded. Good passing by this Carlton squad. It ends up with a dunk, but it's not just one-and-done guys, right? Using the transfer portal to get Tshiebwe, obviously most importantly, but also Frederick. And now you bring in a guy like Reeves, who's a proven collegiate scorer. Can he score at the SEC level and in top 10 games?
No, absolutely, I think he can. But again, he's going to stay on the court, not because of his scoring, that's a given. It's how he meshes on the defensive end, being able to shut his guy down. But playing with a lot of confidence right now. It's just a really deep team. And we can't forget Onyenso. I mean, he reclassified. He'll be on campus, ready to roll and be a part of this team as well. 6'11", 225. Just another big-time recruit in addition.
I might reclassify our dinner reservation. Move it up a little bit. What do you think?
That sounds good to me.
How about Tshiebwe clearing the lane for Thiero?
He's got that caboose, man. He just can make room in the paint.
Oscar waiting at the rim. Nice move to get it in by Manuel Milon. Kentucky's going to use the timeout. Get their guys together, chat about it. In this second half, Carleton has shot 57% from the floor. They trail 93-37. During the end of our luxurious journey, Drake's Big Blue Bahamas tour continues here at Baha Mar. You get some beach time in today?
Briefly, yeah. Packed house. They got it all here, man. And they've got kind of a Vegas-style club thing going that I know I'm not cool enough to be at, and then I'm on the outside, but I can hear it distance away. I just stick to what I know best, and that is hopefully SEC basketball. Kentucky, I don't think you can question. They're the front runner. Tennessee, with all the guys they got returning, Josiah Jordan-James, Santiago Vescovi, Zakai Ziegler, who may be one of the top point guards. I'd say top 2 or 3 in the SEC. And Arkansas, Eamon Brennan on the Athletic. Nice breakdown today on Coach Musselman's overhaul. 11 newcomers, headlined by Nick Smith, the freshman, who's just outstanding on both ends of the court.
Played his high school ball in Little Rock.
And, you know, to nobody's surprise, those top 5 teams have the least amount of turnover from the coaching ranks, whereas the rest of this SEC, you've got 6 new head coaches within the program, so it's going to be a very interesting season.
I do Thiero with the 3. Of the 6, the programs with the new head coaches, 6 of them. I know it's really early, but which do you think would have the best opportunity for success?
That is tough. I like Mississippi State with what Chris Jans has been able to do and win quickly everywhere he's been, and Tolu Smith coming back. But Florida's a situation where, you know, the cupboard's certainly not bare. Colin Castleton, and it's not as if that was a program that was flailing. It was just time for a change for both Mike White and Florida. So Florida probably the most stable one taking over. But right now it's looking like Kentucky is the front runners and everybody else is chasing the Wildcats.
Kentucky having a hot shooting night. They've been led 20 points so far. Transfer Antonio Reeves.
This is a kid that was a 3-star player out of high school, but just kept improving. Now gets his chance to shine in one of the biggest and best programs in the country and has not been bashful. And whatever you want, man, he gives it to you. This kid's got a bag and it can't fit in the overhead compartment. You got to check that thing in. He's got a little bit of it all.
4 of 6 from 3. Kentucky overall 50% from deep. C.J. Frederick has played 10 minutes in this game. He's available, but not seeing a ton of action. The plan was to limit his minutes at some point over the course of these 4 games. We're setting the table as good as Carleton has been over the course of their recent history. Reeves again for 3. And we're a point away from our conch critters. Carleton has not lost by 40 points in the last 18 years.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's in jeopardy. You got to find 12. Pull. Oh!
Looked like my putt yesterday, Alvin. Oh.
You thought the small ballroom we have here, but the place was bound to explode if Reeves saw this one go down. Around, round, and around. Slipped out. Would that have given you a 7 on that hole?
That's right. That's where my nickname Triple Threat comes in.
That actually leads to a good basketball point. You know, Coach Cowles talked about how quick he wants his guys to be making decisions on the court. Catch and go, catch and go. And you almost have to unteach the old school triple threat. I mean, that's what you were always taught growing up, was catching triple threat, get it on your hip, and assess the situation. He doesn't want any of that. He wants you to get it and either go off the bounce, pass it, or shoot it right away.
A little bio blast on Carleton University in Ottawa, Ontario. 3 miles of underground tunnels. Be nice. Don't have to go out there in the Canadian cold.
Well, I'll meet you there.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that.
I don't either.
I think they have a big groundhog population. Toppin's having a great contest, and he is hitting shots right over defenders. He's now 9 of 12, and he's got 21 points.
I can't name a Kentucky player that hasn't impressed me on this trip so far.
Another 3. This one is just their second make, 2 of 16. Toppin. Man, that's tough.
If for fans saying, hey, it's just Carleton, it's just the foreign trip. Yeah, but the confidence that he is gaining right now by seeing his hard work pay off as a scorer will translate.
Carleton with buckets on back-to-back trips. Might be the first time we've seen that. And a steal. Uh-oh, ball girl's on the floor. Tshiebwe controls the glass. Toppin.
I mean, just a flick of the wrist. Are you kidding me, man?
Was he mean mugging Cal after he made that? Top of the steal. Had a couple of NBA workouts in the offseason. Here's Cason Wallace dipping an assist.
Well, one of the questions I had coming into this was, would they have enough perimeter shooting? And they're starting to answer that question. Several options. Maybe not guys you always necessarily look at, oh, he's a just dead-eye three-point shooter, but they're starting to gain that reputation with more and more confidence.
Wallace again. And makes it again. A couple of years ago, Andy Kennedy said on a Kentucky broadcast, there's a difference between shot takers and shot makers, and it's about time to get a shot of makers. I think Carleton might feel that way right about now.
You're going to have to get over it. He's not coming back to the booth, man. You're stuck with me. AK's gone. It's me now, all right? Get over it.
Carleton might be gone too. Cat shooting the lights out.
Right there with have you picked up a meal yet?
Had plenty, thank you. Final game set for tomorrow. I'll tell you what, by dinner tomorrow night. Games at noon, should have plenty of time. Noon on the SEC network and on the ESPN app. Yeah, Drake's Big Blue Bahamas. Maybe we'll have burgers and sushi for dinner, huh? How about that?
Nice mix. Come play. I like the slogan. Pretty easy segue into the Wildcats have come to play. Is that too easy?
Oh, whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Grim Watkins into the game. Brandon Canada on the floor. Walker Horn. All three on the floor for the first time. Canada in the tip.
Collins hadn't had to take too many jumpers in this one, but the other night he had a couple really sweet off the bounce pull-up jumpers. Different game than Toppin, but in terms of the wingspan and length, to where once they put it on the deck and rise up, there's no contesting that type of shot.
He's not shy, is he?
No.
Like Goose Gibbons going for the green and 2 every time. He takes an aggressive line.
Foul called on number 23, Reginald Serpin.
It's always interesting to watch the growth from not just a basketball standpoint, maturity, self-confidence, the guys experience year 1 to year 2.
And Damian Collins getting feedback from both ends of the court. He's got Coach Cal to the right yelling at him, and then he's got the bench telling him something else. I thought we nailed the open about this would be a tougher test for Kentucky.
Yeah. I didn't know it was possible for a team to win by 52 night 1 and then have larger point differences each of the next 2 games.
Well, they hadn't gotten cocky. I can say that.
Cats will play the Bahamian select team tomorrow and then get on the charter. Their supporters. Collins rejects that one. And fly back to Lexington. Here's Horn for 3. Uh-oh. Darren Horn's son, and Walker's had a great week here in the Bahamas. Was at Covington and then went back to Austin Westlake. Finished his high school career with his buddies in Austin, Texas, when his dad was a longtime assistant for the Longhorns under Shaka Smart.
He's a great kid too. I was telling him earlier, I said, seems like just yesterday his dad and I were doing an SEC Now on site at Rupp Arena when his dad was doing some broadcasting. He goes, yeah, I was at that game. I was in 4th grade. God, oh my. How quick time goes.
A little bit of juice on that pass from Collins. Three ball from the top.
You saw that Collins turnover, but just the 10th for Kentucky. And I don't care who you're playing against. You would think that with these big of leads, there'd be a little bit more sloppy play, but hadn't been the case.
Grant Derbyshire gets a little runner to go, and his family dancing on the sideline. He was the one to hit the half-court shot at the end of shoot-around today.
And that was cash money, too. No rim, no bank.
Team Derbyshire in the house. 1:24 to play in this one. We'll wrap this thing up tomorrow. The noon start. Look at these numbers. Jacob Toppin, red hot. Antonio Reeves, just as hot. Balanced scoring in the first and second halves. Derbyshire commits a foul. You think these guys are loose?
They deserve to be. They have had a packed itinerary, though.
We got packed itinerary with Marty McGee. They banked a bunch of shows at SEC Media Day, and they'll get sit-downs with every SEC head coach. You can watch Monday. It'll be the coaches from the East, and Tuesday they'll talk with the West. Talking season starts 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, both nights right here on the SEC Network. I don't know if Marty's going to do basketball sidelines again on Super Tuesday this year, but he's got the best Jordan collection of any sideline reporter I've ever met.
Is that right? You got a pair of J's?
Yeah. I know a guy. Nike.com.
Yeah.
No need to bring your J's to the beach, though. It's more of a flip-flop week, I felt like.
Fair enough. If you had J's, you would have tried to give them to the dealer last night.
Traded in. You know you're old when the retro shoes are the ones that you wore in high school. Nice crossover. This guy can get up. Use every bit of the rim. Might be show and go for the Cats tomorrow with an early start going at noon. Get up, get some team breakfast in, come over. Probably no walkthrough, just get some shots up when you get here a little bit early, huh?
Yeah, you would think so, but knowing Coach Cal, they want to get everything they can out of this trip. They might try to simulate some early tip and have an early breakfast and shoot around like they would normally.
Collins gets it back. Shot clock is under 4. Horn for 2.
Get in there, bang!
Shot of the night! Walker Horn!
Get off me.
Good finish to this one. The Cats declaw Carelton. That was comfortable, huh? John Calipari's squad, another great performance. (118-56). A couple of stars you could choose from, Dane. Jacob Toppin was perfect in the first half. He goes 11 of 14 from the floor for 27, and then, well, 23 points on 8 of 12 shooting was Antonio Reeves.
These fans gotta love this. You mentioned paradise. Go to the Bahamas, walk to the game, blow teams out by 50, walk right back to the resort. And here's Horn, clutch, splash.
That's how you finish it, huh? Pretty impressive. A 118-56 final. Guy who just filled it up tonight is Antonio Reeves. Awfully impressive, and he's sitting with us courtside. How we doing, man?
How y'all doing, man?
Had it going, huh?
Yeah, I had it going today, for sure.
Talk to us about, for folks who haven't seen you play, what your game is like, and if at all you adjust that game now here at the University of Kentucky with the talent level around you.
Yeah, I definitely adjusted my game, man. Running more, man. Make sure I get, rebounds and facilitate for the team, man. So, I'm definitely playing hard, man, for sure.
What's been the hardest part about maybe not being as ball dominant in the usage rate that you might have had the benefit a year ago to where you're having to work with others now?
I have better players around me, man. They look for me to make sure, I get the shots that I need or shots that I want, and just the players around me. That's what it is, for sure.
What was your first impression of John Calipari when you made it to Lexington?
Man, I'm playing for a dream coach that I always wanted to play for, man, for sure.
Was there any, I guess, nerves or hesitancy when you came in and you've been playing ball your whole life, and you can hold your own? But when you're across guys that were 5-star McDonald's type guys in that Kentucky brand, were you nervous at all when you came in?
No, I wasn't nervous, man. I've been playing college basketball for 3 years, man. So I didn't really worry too much about that because I already know I could play basketball. So I wasn't worried.
All right, we'll give you a chance to walk us through your highlights. 23 points, 5 threes. Here's what it looked like on TV tonight. Just talk through how you felt and what we're seeing.
Man, I was just getting in the rhythm, man. I just, zoned out and got open jump shots, man, and teammates looked for me. So, the ball was just going in every time I shot it.
What's your favorite bucket, though? Off the catch or the step back?
It was the one in the corner when I had the step back jumper, man.
Lost him a little bit on that one, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, you guys got one more tomorrow. You think you can beat tomorrow's team by more than you won tonight? I mean, you guys, you won a 52-night one, and the spread's gotten larger every night.
Hey, we just go out there and play hard. I don't know, what's the score going to be. We just going to, make sure we just go over their sets and just focus for tomorrow.
How about your boy Jacob Toppin real quick, though? Because he was on fire tonight, too. Did that surprise you at all?
No, it didn't. Yeah. No, Jacob been working hard, man. So it didn't surprise me at all. I know he was going to, make shots. So it didn't surprise me.
Is it a little bit different when your head coach is sitting across the building and you get KT coaching you up on there? Because it seems like Cal's not afraid to, tell you what he wants to see when he's not even on the bench.
Yeah, he's watching the game and he's just correcting us when he was on the floor. So whatever he see out there, he just let us know and just KT just do the rest.
When you hear both voices from either side, who you turning to first?
Coach. But yeah, man, assistant coach, I always gotta listen to both of them, man. So
Antonio, congratulations. Fun watching you play. Great job, shooting night
Thank
for
you, man. Appreciate
Kentucky Wildcats. Antonio Reeves shot the lights out tonight. Got his confidence going early. Goes 5 of 8 from deep. 23 points. We'll see if he can replicate that tomorrow. They're dabbing in the stands of Kentucky fans. And Dane will get a chance to see them one more time.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Once again, this is a team growing in front of our eyes. The athletes, the composure, the togetherness, they are taking it to anybody and everybody here in the Bahamas.
We'll close the weekend tomorrow noon on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. For Dane Bradshaw, our fantastic crew, I'm Tom Hart. Have a great weekend, everybody.